Mike, welcome to Legal Practice Intelligence. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you, David. Great to see you again and very excited to be sitting here with you this morning.
I'm loving your boardroom.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's quasi-New York, sort of, somewhere.
I know. That's a good sort of segue, I guess, into the whole virtual environment and hybrid working and location-independent working. It's a nice segue into, I guess, telling us a bit more about what you do and the company you're with.
Look, my name's Michael. Michael Vassilieff. I'm the head of sales for Dedoco. Dedoco is a Singapore headquartered organisation, but making some big moves here in the ANZ region, where we'll really be looking at building out a team and probably in time looking at setting this up as our APAC headquarters. I've spent 13 years in the legal industry. So prior to joining Dedoco, I was at Thomson Reuters, where, a brand that most people who will see this interview will be aware of, platforms like Contract Express, HiQ, the Elite platform. I worked very closely with all of those. After time there, I've decided to make a move and join Dedoco, which Dedoco as a business is kind of one of a kind, to put it bluntly. Born during COVID, while a lot of other organisations were potentially folding. Founded by our co-founders, Daphne, who's our CEO, and Ernie, our CTO, really is a way to react to the lockdown laws and changes in how people interact with documentation, but also each other.
Wow. So I guess for the layperson, what do you guys do?
Well, Dedoco is a blockchain-based document infrastructure platform, which really allows electronic and digital signatures of documents to occur. Our real key focus, though, is on data privacy, document security, as well as providing trust, verified, and connected documents to our clients.
Okay, and so I guess, would you guys, be competing with the likes of Adobe and with DocuSign, those kind of guys?
Yeah, very much so, very much so. And obviously, that then means we need to see a way to, set ourselves apart from the competition. And that's where we have really probably three key focus areas that we see as our value prop. Our data privacy and residency. Dedoco doesn't store a copy of the document, which really sets us apart from the market, but also adheres to strict data sovereignty and residency issues faced in many countries and sort of mandated by lots of governments. A very flexible infrastructure. We're an API-first multi-cloud environment. Means that we can provide a pretty simple deployment to our clients, but also our key point is blockchain. With blockchain-based verification via Dedoco Verify, which is included in our platform, using the blockchain hash. We've got the ability to verify that document at every instance of the document. Really aids in version control, which I think, as we know here in the legal industry, that's such an important factor. Documents, the version control of those. Is the document I sent or is the document I've received the same document as the document I sent for signing? And that's all really possible via blockchain, and the fact that Dedoco is built on blockchain and Web3 technology.
Yeah, look, it's really interesting because I guess during the pandemic, we sort of saw a whole bunch of governments have to make changes in relation to signing. I think one of the ones that sort of springs to mind is ASIC and signing some of the forms and directors' minutes and those kinds of things as well. I might be wrong there, but I think it's actually ASIC is one of the ones that I noted. But I guess, what do you sort of see around the legal industry in terms of this whole signing situation in terms of acceptability?
Yeah, look, it has been more and more accepted, that's for certain. The electronic signing market, we see, and this is off the back of a lot of research, as a $1 trillion industry. It's very large. In terms of, for the legal industry, let's look at Australia and New Zealand at the moment. With e-conveyancing, with platforms like Simply and PEXA, I think the fact that all property transactions are now able to be signed off via an electronic platform is really a step in the right direction. I spoke at a Singaporean legal conference last week where, a lot of the feedback that we've had from that, and I mentioned this instance in particular, is that surely the rest of the world is going to follow soon. But not just e-conveyance, and it can be really applied to any document that needs to be signed off or verified within the legal industry. more and more legislation is coming into play around that. With more and more options soon to be available.
I guess again, sort of for lay people, what's the advantage of actually having this workflow go through a blockchain?
Yeah, look, I think the three key points that I mentioned a little earlier, in terms of the data privacy and residency, it's incredibly secure. Blockchain's taken a bit of a battering, I'd say, in the market over the last couple of months because of cryptocurrency. It's not blockchain that is causing issues with cryptocurrency. It's the volatility of the market. But with that said, shares in BHP and the banks are going up and down as well. And they've been seen as being your absolutely stable shares for the last 30 years. So, because of that, people have a little bit of a bad taste. But blockchain is the engine, it's the technology that sits in the back end. And because of the security, because of the way that it's built with Web3, the way that the data is held there, it makes it a more efficient and smart way to do business. And if we have a look at the legal industry, we know that there's a shift to AI, to smart contracts, and blockchain really is the back end of how that can happen. For 15 years, David, everyone's been talking about automation, only of documents. That's not new. Hot docs has been around for 40 years now. Document automation is not a new thing. So that now that phase is sort of still going well, but sort of towards the back end there. Now it is around the smart contracts, the AI, document review, contract review, and then how blockchain really is going to be a platform that sits there in the back end to do it. If you have a look at where we first started. Our first client was the Singaporean government. And I think when I say that to people, it's kind of like, wow, when do you see the government as your first client, especially one like the Singaporean government? They're pretty tech forward. They're quite savvy. Now, during COVID, it was the situation where their lockdown laws were so strict. There wasn't the ability for people to leave houses. And then all of a sudden during COVID, millions of people's rental agreements came up for renewal. And that wasn't able to happen. Now in Singapore, they have something called SingPass, which I think to those of us in Australia, especially those in New South Wales, I like to explain it as Service New South Wales on steroids.
Right.
So it just has a lot of extra bolt-ons. Now through SingPass, they were able to look at a way to allow people to electronically sign their rental agreements. Dedoco was the platform that was chosen to do so. Why? Mainly because of blockchain. Because blockchain provided the technology and the capabilities to plug into the app and to allow, when I last checked several months ago, 140,000 signatures to have taken place.
Wow.
That's a great thing for blockchain within the industry. It also goes to show that, this is why Gartner's predicting, government IT spending is going to increase. It's about 14% over the next 12 months to $151 billion US, because more and more governments are starting to adopt technology. And I think we all see that, and any lawyers, watching the video and reading the interview will also see that as well, and probably be involved in a lot of government deals that are taking place.
So I guess, from a target market point of view, who are the people in the legal industry that I guess are most likely to take this one up first?
Look, anyone that's very document heavy, sending out lots of documents that need signatures. I see the legal industry as a whole as a great market, as well as banking and finance, your fin services, your government. But I really think anyone across the legal industry, conveyancing is a great one where there's lots of documents, mortgage agreements going out. But even with your standard letters of engagement, if you're a large law firm, you're sending out, hopefully hundreds to maybe 1,000 of those a day, across your Australian ANZ office or, APAC office or whatever it might be. So it can really be adopted in any area, even, human resource departments, sending out employment agreements to new individuals starting within your organisation. You provide them a simple, easy way to sign that document that's going to speed up the process, and they're going to join your organisation faster.
So I guess folks who are using an alternative kind of, or using one of the sort of solutions at the moment, like a DocuSign or an Adobe or one of those sort of types and things like that. I guess from a point of view of using one of those to switching to you guys, I guess what's the, I mean, how easy is that, or how would that sort of work?
Yeah, we're really simple. As I mentioned, we're an API first organization. So we're doing some great things with partnerships already out there in the market, and with a lot of our existing clients. The SingPass thing was a perfect example. There was a great reason as to why we were chosen to go forward was because of our ability to sit with inside that platform. So it's very easy to work alongside. And again, I'm going to harp on it again, but it really is because of the whole blockchain backend, in terms of that open API. Everyone needs a very simplistic, easy to use, platform. I think everyone understands customer experience is very important these days. User experience in terms of a user interface, very clean, simple user interface within the Dedoco platform. But also, in terms of that simple, like-for-like transition, very simple and easy to do. But I think as well, because of, the Web3 backend that we have and all the things that we're doing, a recent upgrade that we've done, such as video sign, which I really see that as a way of handling the issue of witnessing the document, where you invite, David, you're a lawyer, I'm your customer, and the person sitting over there, it's my dog that's outside on the lounge, needs to witness the document. We can all be invited into the same video sign platform. It can be verified within there, we can prove identity, and it can be signed off. Now, video sign in itself is something that is actually going through the legal system at the moment, and will be very soon an acceptable format of signing a document. So we're already thinking about the future. People are talking about NFTs, we're talking about NFDs, non-fungible documents, and how you can add that to your wallet moving forward.
So I guess given the situation, given the fact that people are globally working and things like that, like labour hire agreements and all sorts of different agreements can be actually used by your product. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people considering remote working as well, so doing the whole remote working thing, and they want a very simple solution to put in place where they've got remote workers or independent location workers, and that could be a solution there as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's a SaaS-based platform. It's pure cloud, very simple and easy to use. And as I said, earlier on when we talk about storing the copy of the documents, what I've found by using Dedoco myself, my day-to-day business world now, is the time that I'm actually saving, and the fact that I don't need to download a document because it's all stored on the blockchain. So, even myself, I might be doing 6 or 7 documents a day via Dedoco. My brother is a partner at a big 4 accounting firm, and he's signing off on 70, 80 documents a day. So a solution like Dedoco would be fantastic within that sort of instance. And, that's something I expect a lot of lawyers are doing, where you're signing and sending out multiple documents, to speed up and save time. And then the fact that it's got the verification on the blockchain and part of the Dedoco Verify, which is one of our products within our platform, it's a massive time saver.
I guess people could actually, if they're using another signing sort of platform across the organisation as well, they could do this from Matter. So they could, particularly if there's documents going to go from Matter, they could use it for that Matter and disperse them back.
100%. And look, a lot of the organisations we're talking to, at the moment, David, we'll be using an existing platform, but are saying, hey, we see a good opportunity where we are a little bit higher volume in documents, where we're going to trial Dedoco and see how we go there. So, some really exciting things taking place within those businesses. And again, I guess back purely onto the legal industry, the conversations that I've been having with, some of the larger law firms, but also mid-tier, they're all starting to create their own blockchain Web3 teams at the moment, where, they're really investing in this. And, I think that leads to the fact, if we do look at the future, there's predictions that, every business's back end over the next 5 to 8 years is going to have some form of blockchain sit in there.
What's a nice place to start?
A process is going to be managed by a blockchain-based tool. And I think that's incredibly exciting.
Yeah, well, it sort of seems like a nice place to start as well. I mean, one other question I've got for you, Michael, is just around, I guess, practice management vendors, other sort of vendors or other sort of software companies that are looking for or want to integrate with a sort of a solution around signing and around document workflow at that sort of end. I mean, how many people do you integrate with right now? And I guess, are you looking for other people to work with like that?
Yeah, look, at the moment in Australia, still very new. So I am in the process of speaking to a couple of vendors at the moment and had 2 very exciting calls yesterday. But, search providers, where you need to sign off on documents. So I think we know who those players are going to be out there in market, but also in the back end of practice management systems. I can see us playing a part in, some of your wider document management systems as well. I'm really here growing the sales team, but our partnerships team here is going to be growing in Australia very shortly. We're coming on board in August. So, expect to see expect to see our name pop up a lot more when it comes to everyday platforms that you're using in the legal industry. To see that, hey, Dedoco is actually a platform that you can use integrated into the existing system that you've got.
Fantastic. And I guess for the accounting firms as well that actually look at our subscribers as well, that'll be another area.
100%. I've done previous work at Thomson Reuters where we were talking about automations with, with some of the accounting firms, and they've got 35 different variations of an engagement letter. So think about how many types of engagement letters that they're sending out. If you've got 35 different variations, how many documents are you sending a day that need to be signed?
So, I mean, what's the cost model look like?
Yeah, look, on a per user per month basis. So we've got a very competitive model, obviously based on the size of the organization as well. So really, just want to be a product that is available for everyone. I think people see, blockchain as, because it's so new, it's super expensive. And one of the things that Daphne, my CEO, said to me when I first met with her, and in a couple of interviews that I've seen her done before, is she wants to make blockchain accessible to everyone.
Yep, brilliant.
I think people will be quite pleasantly surprised when they see the cost model that we've got. I would say very competitive in terms of what's in the market, but also just providing fantastic value, which is really what we want to be doing. We want to be seen as a product that provides value to our customers as a way of providing further value to their customers.
So say a 20 person sort of suburban law firm, what would they be looking at for getting, what would the sort of rough pricing be for that?
Yeah, so here in Australia, we'd be sitting around the $14 per user per month pricing model. Right. And that's not really limited to the number of documents that you can do. There's lots of different ways of being able to sort of skin a cat there in terms of the, in pricing models, but I really just want to keep it really simple and easy for the market. Make sure that it's something that, as I said, people can bring on board, people can use. It's a simple, easy to use platform with the added security that I think more and more people are getting worried about. The news on this morning, and two stories already about data security and privacy issues with certain countries. And when it's starting to hit the mainstream media, I think a lot more people sort of see it as a very highly important area when it comes to their business making, business decisions.
Definitely. So if people want to find out more or actually trial it, or is it, I guess we'll leave some links in terms of our article, but I guess, Yeah, look, 100%. Go to our website, www.dedoco.com. It's DEDOCO. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, Michael Vassilieff. Obviously, my surname. It's a long one, but it will be provided there in the article. Just connect with me. More than happy to have a chat with anyone. As I said, our website. Find us on LinkedIn. That's the best place to find out things about events that we're going to, industry trends that we're coming across. What we're seeing out there in the market, new products that are coming through. I spoke about video sign. There's some fantastic videos about that on both our LinkedIn and our website. But yeah, we have a team that's ready to speak to. That's ready to speak to you all. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, David. Absolute pleasure. Cheers.